What's up, people, and welcome back to my channel. Village Mom here. And today's video, I'm just out here with my kids. I'm trying to make some maize and beans. So watch and let's have a conversation about village life. What do you think about village motherhood? Nobody talks about it. You just think that motherhood is just being there with your baby in a fancy house doing fancy stuff. So I'm gonna be giving you the other side of motherhood and how we deal with that. If you've been raised in a village or ever been to a village, you know how hectic village life can be. Activities can be many. So, and I want to show you how I juggle all this with motherhood together with them. I'm a mother of 3 kids. Actually, I have 3 kids. My youngest son is 9 months, and my eldest daughter here is 3 years. So welcome and stay tuned. Guys, how do you think motherhood in the village can be when you don't even have a house help, for instance? Yes? Okay. There are so many activities going on here in the village. You have to go to the farm. There's so much to be done. And it's not something that it can really be a walk in the park, but we manage. And I know most of the people on my comment section, they usually wonder how I deal with motherhood here in the village. They keep asking me, how do you do it? Because I have 3 kids and the eldest is 3 years. So you can imagine how chaotic it can be sometimes. But I have some tips on how I manage, because I don't even get overwhelmed. One thing I do is I usually have a plan of the day. I usually have what to do on that particular day. And my kids are calm. I thank God for that. They don't usually give me a hard time. And the secret to for me to manage this kind of motherhood here in the village is I wake up early, because I usually wake up around by 6:30. The latest I wake up is 7 a.m. and that is when maybe when I wake up at 7 a.m. it's because maybe my son really disturbed me during the night and I didn't get enough sleep. But mostly I try as much as possible to wake up by 6:30. When I wake up at 6:30, I have to light the firewood fire so that I make the breakfast. I make tea, because here in Kenya we have to make tea in the morning. That's like a religion. After that, a tradition rather. After that, I cook my kids' porridge. Then I wash all the dishes. Yesterday dishes. Here in the village, I don't wash dishes at night because it's not easy, because you don't have a sink here, so you just have to wash outside. So in the morning, that's what I do. And then I sweep the compound, because that's very important, because if you don't sweep the compound, the homestead is going to be very, very untidy. And then after that, I find out what I'm going to be making for lunch. And for me, I do cook once in a day. Whatever we cook during lunchtime is what you're going to eat for dinner, and that makes my work so easy. So what I do, I put the food that I've cooked in the hot pot, so by the time it gets to dinner, my food is still hot. Because honestly, with 3 kids and I don't have help, it can be very challenging for me to say that I'll be cooking each meal differently. So that is just how I try to make things easy for myself, because apart from motherhood, I also have animals. I also have farm work, and it's not something that people talk about. But motherhood in the village, it's fun, but it's a little bit hectic. So what do you think? What do you people think about village life, about motherhood in the village? You can drop a comment and let me know if you're in the village or not, or maybe if you just have any idea on how mothers do in the village. And apart from all that challenge, the village life has its own advantage. Yeah, like when there have been a lot of food insecurity issues, water problem, those are just stories that I hear. I've not experienced that. I have plenty in my farm. I have bananas, I have maize, I have beans, I have fruits. And on the side of food for my kids, I have more than enough. And that's one thing I really love about village life. You'll always have plenty for your children. Because I remember when we were in town, we used to really we really used to feel the cost of living being high, because sometimes you're going to buy stuff in the market and the prices are so high, the inflation. So when I came back here in the village, I felt like things got a little bit easier for us. I have more than enough food, more than enough actually. So sometimes when I watch the news and I just feel the way people are really complaining about food prices, milk prices, those things don't get to me, honestly. Being here in the village, and as much as it can be difficult, but on the other side, it's easy. And I have some advice. You know, the way the cost of living is very high, and there's a lot of people are really going through mental instability. And you know, one of the reasons that can really make you have mental breakdown is the issue of finances. If your finances, Kylie, stop touching. If your finances are really on a hard rock, that's when you get these mental issues. If you have kids and things are difficult in the city, just go back home. Why do people really struggle in the city? Like, you have to die there, things are tough for you, you can't afford anything, you can't pay for your rent, but you're just there, you don't want to go in, you just don't want to go home. What's the problem with the village? There's this mentality that you just have, all of us have to be in the city, and that's why there will be so much congestion in the city. Some people don't even have what to do there, but they cannot accept to go to the village and do stuff like farming. There's so much farm lying around and people are really complaining about food. How do you expect us to beat this food insecurity issue when all of us are in the city? Unless you have a job, unless you really have something very important going on there in the city, I don't see the need of you being there. Come home, do something for yourself, do poultry farming, farm food, sell. There's so many people. In fact, I'll be doing this content very soon, so you guys should be hitting my subscription button so that I get to 1,000 subscribers and get monetized, because I want to start doing this content of encouraging people. If at all things are really tough for you in the city, I want to be doing this content that I will be showing you people who came back here and they're doing way better, they're living good lives, their kids are having good education. If you plan yourself and do something constructive for yourself in the village, you will not suffer. Because I realize, especially youth, there's so many people who are really struggling in the city, really struggling. People who can't even afford a meal, but they don't want to go back home. They feel like it's something very terrible. What's up with homes? You have farms, you can have food, but you're there in the city. The inflation is really taking a toll on you, but you can't go back home. Why would you not go back home and do something for yourself, for your kids? Yeah, I know how frustrating it can be. Can you imagine when you have kids and you have not paid your bills and they are threatening to throw you outside? Do you know how much stress is that? How will you raise your kids in such a stressful environment? When you come back home, you'll be peaceful, you'll be happy, you have plenty, and your kids will really grow well. So guys, I'm just here to advise you, if things are not really easy on you in the city, you should just come back home and do something for yourself. It pays off. I can tell you for sure it does. Because at least you not have this, not unless you really have something that is really making sense in the city. You have a career, you have a good job, you have a good business, it's good for you to stay there because it's really making a difference in your life. But what if you are just there struggling and struggling? You really waited for years and something is not coming up. You can't even afford something to eat, the bills are overdue. It's not bad for you to be here and just try and do something. You can just farm anything you can. Let's just get into this farming of value addition. If you have some capital, you can come back here and do things. And this social media is a platform where if you use properly, it can really take you places. It can really help you achieve your dreams. Social media is a marketplace. In as much as social media is here and you use it for the way you want it. If you want it to benefit you, if you want it to be a business for you, it can really be. So guys, I'm just here to tell you that don't feel so shy to come home and do something for yourself. It's not bad. It's not something that it should really be a hard decision for you to make. If you all run to the cities and leave the villages, that is why you feel the pinch of food stuff. The prices are so high. Look at the prices of the eggs right now. Look at the prices of flour. Look at the prices of cooking oil. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. And village motherhood is very easy. It's very fun. For those who have been asking in the comment section, how do you do it? I've told you what I do. Just wake up early, plan your day, and everything will fall in place. The problem is if you want to sleep till late, you don't have a plan of what you're going to do during the day. You're just there, things become so much, you get so overwhelmed. So guys, thank you so much for being here. We'll be having so many conversations here in my channel, apart from my daily activities here in the village that I show in my YouTube channel, my daily activities, my routines, my everything that I do here in the village. I'll be having talks on specific days. So guys, stick here because this is going to be a very amazing channel for you. And make sure you subscribe, just hit the subscribe button for me, and comment down below what you think about this channel. Thank you so much guys. I've just been making my maize, and by the time I was finishing this conversation, I was already done, and I had already made my beans. All these are from my farm. I've not gone to the shop to buy anything, and I told you there's plenty in the village. Thank you so much guys for watching, and as always, I appreciate you. Bye.